Alright, here we go. This is Darren Benson again with Performance Motorcoaches. Had pretty good response on our Renegade Explorer video yesterday. Feel a little bit better as time progresses, getting some of the allergies out of my head, so I thought it would be a cool idea to go for a little test drive in this guy. Kind of see the acceleration, kind of see the the benefits of a smaller rig, and of course, you know, the Allison transmission with it going through the gears a little bit faster. So we'll go ahead and buckle up, and unfortunately up here we can only really get fast out on the turnpike. So we'll get on a toll road, makes it nice right here. So no matter if you're short leg, long leg, big belly, small belly, you can get in here and adjust this just about right. I'm gonna run this underneath here so I don't mess up the microphone. Release the brake, put it in gear, and away we go. I think we disconnected everything back there, didn't we? Just making sure. So we're here at a campground in Elkhart, right off the toll road, and luckily about 2 minutes away from the house. That allows us to kind of set stuff over here and check on it periodically. This customer had a slight delay. He was supposed to come in last night or first thing this morning. Didn't, but that's okay. Gives us more time to play with this rig. Probably should go a little bit slower over those speed bumps. We'll cruise out here, get on the road, buy some high-priced diesel out on the toll road, get this customer ready to go. He's about a quarter of a tank, but we'll make sure he leaves here with a full tank of fuel. County Road 4, got some nice people trying to let me over, but there's 12,000 people back behind them. So really easy to drive, just kind of like your car or SUV. Relatively quiet. Motor's kind of cold right now, so it'll be a little bit noisier than normal. But, you know, there's 30 just within a business or two of where we pulled out. And here's 40, just with pretty minimal throttle. But once we get out on the interstate, you can really see everything. We'll kind of start playing with some of the features that you would, all the adaptive cruise and whatnot. The nice thing is there's a fair amount of traffic out there. You can get a pretty good idea of what's going on with the adaptive cruise. We're just a few minutes away. So for people that don't really know the area, we are about 2 hours east of Chicago. So people that wanted to fly in, they can fly into Chicago, rent a car. Really difficult to do one-way rentals right now, but little trick, Enterprise will charge you 50 cents a mile for drop-offs if you just show up and tell them, kind of surprise them. So it costs you about $100 extra to do a drop-off over here, which is 2 Enterprise locations relatively close to here. Not a problem. Or fly into South Bend. So South Bend is where Notre Dame is located, and it's about 45 minutes over, maybe at 30 minutes via the toll road. So it's pretty darn easy to get to. Went to our first Notre Dame game 3 weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago. It's pretty awesome. So great time to also be up here in that, you know, back in Texas this time of year, everything gets pretty darn yellow. Everything starts to really yellow up. Trees, grass. Up here, the grass really starts getting going this time of year. A little bit different breed of grass. So great to be up here because it feels like, you know, back home things are starting to die and start to go away, whereas things are really staying pretty darn green here. So nice time today. Of course, much more sunshine today than we had yesterday. Yesterday was a little bit dreary, and, you know, combined with that head cold, it was not a very fun day. So we'll kind of go back over the chassis for people that didn't see the video. So this is a Cascadia 116. This would be the short hood Cascadia, new body style. The old body style was a 113 and a 125. The new body style is a 116 and a 126 respectively, or correspondingly for the chassis. So there's no difference in the cab itself. It's all the placement of the engine and the shortness of the hood on the 116 versus the 126. So DD13, it does have the Allison transmission. Pretty cool. I jumped in a diesel pusher the other day, and oddly enough, even the diesel pushers are using this same steering column, same gear shift selector. So pretty cool that they're using a lot of the uniformity all the way across the product line. And it just makes it, at the end of the day, it makes it where, you have one gear shift selector for a diesel pusher, for a Cascadia, and a lot of the Western Star products too. So it's, pretty impressive to, it streamlines everything, not having, well, that's this for this and this for this and this for this. Having so many things integrate all the way across the product line makes it much, much easier to service and maintain parts. So the question is, which direction do we want to go? East or west? East? There's no fuel stop there, but we can go, we'll get fuel elsewhere.
And west.
We won't bore everybody with the fuel stop. The fuel stop here is only 2 or 3 minutes, so not very exciting. So we'll go east. So used to having a toll pass on my car. Nice thing about the tolls up here, they have big ones and small ones depending upon the size of your vehicle. Sure that doesn't blow away. So kind of tight, but not an issue to get through here. Just don't not pay attention. So we'll head east for the people that were going to come in. Bristol, I guess there are 2 exits down, is the Bristol exit where Renegade is located. And right now, that's about the only real way you can get there because they have all the road construction. Even though I'm not a big fan of the toll road, it definitely speeds things up this time of year with all the road construction. So engine brake right here. That is the blind spot monitoring. And I'll actually turn that off here in a minute once we get on the highway, because it gets pretty darn annoying. Unfortunately, all these chassis come with the blind spot monitoring. And if something is there, even if you're not intended to turn, it's still going to let you know something's out there. So it gets a little annoying at times. So we're running, we got about 35. Now we are running right at 50 miles an hour right here. If I would have accelerated a little bit harder into that turn, it was just a pretty predominant turn, we would have been going substantially faster. Right now we're running 67, 68. Turn the engine brake off. We're going to go ahead and set the cruise control. So it gave me a distance warning just because I set it relatively close to the guy in front of us. So we are set at 70 miles an hour. I don't know if you can catch this right now. The vehicle in front of us is running 65 miles an hour, and it's 138 feet ahead of us. So it'll keep that distance right there. We can actually go through and change that distance. So we'll go through the cruise control, and then we will get to 2.4 seconds. We were set at 3.2, so it's factory default at 3.2, and every time you do a key cycle, it jumps back to that 3.2. So anytime you jump in this, generally jump to 2.4 seconds. I'm going to adjust this. Don't recommend trying this while you're driving. So now we're going to jump over and turn off the blind spot monitoring, because it does drive me nuts. So go to the very far icon, and then we'll scroll down. Actually, we'll go scroll to the very far right icon, go OK, and then go down to Safety Systems and go OK. Side guard assist, and then we'll toggle back to the left, actually the right, turn that off, and then bingo, the blind spot monitoring will be off of the unit. We're going to cruise back to our main menu that'll kind of tell us what's going on. Pretty cool. Like I said, it'll give you your speed of the vehicle in front of you, It'll also give you the distance between you and the vehicle, and then of course your spacing 2.4 seconds away. So this does have the lane departure. It's active right now, so I'm not going to turn the turn signal on, but I'm going to get out of my lane. And then if you go, basically you can hear it audible on this side. There's nothing that vibrates, like much like a lot of automotive seats are. So we'll go over here, even though I don't like run on the rumble strip. So there again, pretty easy to turn off. This will reactivate every 15 minutes, so it's just a part of it, but at least it's nice to be able to turn that off. So basically, kind of when you're going through town, that will you'll need to turn that off or just live with it. It gets a little annoying. Now, if you turn your turn signal on, it will then be turned off. We got a truck coming up back behind us. We'll speed up. Set at 73 miles per hour now. I wish there was a little bit more traffic because I wanted to change lanes, but I really don't want to change lanes into this truck as fast as we're going. But we're 77 miles an hour right now, and it's pretty effortless. Really don't have to use. The only reason why I really use two hands is just because the other hand doesn't fall down. The armrests are adjustable, so kind of once you get set, you can pretty much drive with one hand. So the next exit down is for the RV Hall of Fame. I'm kind of geeky about old cool RVs. It's really a pretty cool place. So anybody that's in the area, I would advise spend an hour or two over there just to see some of the old school RVs, kind of how things started way back in the day. So we're just going to go ahead and run down to the Bristol exit, which will be a few minutes. Unfortunately, there's not really much for me to kind of show you guys until that time. I'll go ahead and jack with the cameras right now. So you can activate the camera driving up and down the road. So that's the backup cam right there. And then where you turn your turn signal on, it'll revert to that. Same to your left-hand side. There's a little bit of delay to that. So a lot of customers we're doing a secondary monitor from the overhead. Luckily, this guy is acting pretty good right now. Of course, when you undock this unit, your backup camera goes away. That's part of the reason why some people like to do another monitor. We'll go back to cams. I think you'll see kind of what I'm saying, a little bit of delay there. Like I said, we're running 77 miles an hour. We have a little bit of tailwind, so it's very, very quiet. I mean, I would say we probably have at least a 10 to 15 mile an hour tailwind. We'll kick it up to 80 miles an hour. So I want you to see what happens as we come onto this vehicle right in front of us. We're running 82 miles an hour, which is definitely moving on for an RV. A little bit more wind. So it's running 70, and we will slowly start slowing down to not run up on top of that vehicle. So it'll pull back throttle, and if necessary, we'll actually activate the engine brake and the foot brake if needed. If you get into a really harsh situation where the vehicle thinks you're going to run into something, it will do anything basically mandatory to shut this coach down. So this extra right here, so this is actually a pretty good little video here, because we'll be able to see Renegade on the left-hand side, which is on the north side of the interstate, so see how close everything is to this area. So right now, even though we had the cruise set on 82 miles an hour, we're now set at 70 because that vehicle right in front of us is running 70. We're not going to jump out and go around them just because our exit's right here. going to go ahead and turn the cruise control off, which in essence, if you turn your engine brake on, it will then turn it off automatically. So you'll see the Renegade plant right here. On this side are the Veronas, the Valencias, and the Sprinter products, and then on the other side they do the Classics, this Explorer, the XLs, and the Icons. Oh, and also the Verona LEs. Their service center is also located over here, what they call Plant 1, which is the original plant. Plant 2 is the new one across the parking lot there. But essentially, I didn't really give any brake at all whenever we came into this exit, this turn. Pretty darn effortless. The engine brake's just in stage 1. Stage 2 and 3, you're really aggressive. Turn it all the way down. So this thing will almost shut itself completely down, making sure there's no traffic back behind us. So I'm going to just give it full throttle till we get up to the exit right up here. We'll just go ahead and cut this off once we get into but give you a pretty good idea of kind of what goes on and some of the systems. It's an incredibly easy truck to drive, incredibly easy truck to see out of both sides of the truck. Not a problem whatsoever. Jump over here to the cash side. But I think that's pretty much it. We appreciate you guys doing a little ride along with us. Like I said, if we get that 38 in a pretty short period of time, we'll be able to do a lot more videos and be able to kind of play with it a lot more, really be able to go through the substantial more of the coach. So luckily there's no cars back behind us, went around us, but thank you guys for always coming checking out our videos. Make sure you guys keep on liking and subscribing. I better put this in before they start honking at me. Thanks.